If your dirt bike is equipped with the WP Xplor Forks, then you're going to need 2 different fork cap wrenches in order to rebuild them, and today I'm going to show you why. Alright, so a lot of us, when it comes to rebuilding our suspension, we're used to using just one fork cap wrench. Well, if you're new to the Xplor Fork from WP, you're going to need 2 wrenches. Now the reason for that is at the fork cap, it's comprised of basically 2 components. We've got our fork cap itself, and then we've got the preload adjuster. And it's very important that we use these 2 tools. If you don't, you run the risk of damaging the preload adjuster, and I'm going to show you why. All right, so we've got our fork here. I've got it on a bike stand so that you can see this. Now I just want to point out real quick that when we rotate the preload adjuster, that you can see it operates independently of the fork cap itself. Now when it comes to removing this from the outer tube, you will use the standard hex style of wrench. Now when we use this wrench, we're applying pressure directly to the fork cap and its threads, which thread directly into the outer fork tube. Now if we were to try to do that same removal process with this tool, as you can see, it's going to rotate the preload adjuster, but it does stop. Now, if we were to continue to apply pressure to remove the fork cap this way, we're going to run the risk of potentially damaging the components that are inside between the preload adjuster and the fork cap itself. So when you remove the fork cap from the outer tube, always be sure to use the standard style of hex fork cap wrench. All right, so now that we've got our outer tube removed from the fork cap itself, the next step in our disassembly process would be to remove the fork cap from the dampening rod. Now to do that, you're going to want to use the preload cap tool. Now the reason for this is this tool is going to apply pressure directly to the preload adjuster, which is directly threaded onto the dampening rod. Now if we were to try to remove this using the standard fork cap wrench, which is the hex shape, once we begin to apply the pressure to it, the preload adjuster is going to make an adjustment. But then once we reach the end of its adjustability, it's going to apply pressure to the components inside of here. Then you can run the risk of damaging the components that are in between the preload adjuster and the fork cap itself. So real quick, we're going to show you how to remove this the proper way. All right, now to remove the cap, we're going to take our 24mm wrench. We're going to pull our spring down, which will expose the lock nut. Once we've got a wrench on there, we're going to take our preload cap wrench and place it onto the preload adjuster. Now you want to make sure that the preload adjuster is set to 0, so it's rebounded, and then we can remove it. And that's it. Hopefully that helps you to understand why you need to have 2 fork cap wrenches when it comes to removing this fork cap. Now if you'd like to know more about how to rebuild these forks, I do a great video that will show you how to do just that. So while you're on YouTube checking that out, be sure to subscribe for more product spotlights, how-tos, and top 5s. I'm Dustin with Rocky Mountain. Thanks for watching, and keep the wrenches turning.